welcome back to the Woah Pony podcast, recorded here at Riverside Radio. Thank you very much for joining us. Topic of the week again is Bridezillas Part 2, because it was so popular last week, so I thought, well, I can't not revisit that. I was sharing some Bridezilla stories, just some short, cute, straight in there ones, Now I've got some longer ones, and they're actually wanting an opinion on whether we think they're the bad person. It's an am I the a-hole for so-and-so. The first one that I've got here is, am I the a-hole for sending an invoice to my wife's cousin after she didn't have space for us at her wedding? I think we'll be the judge of it. Let's unwrap this. This person says, I own a printing company that I run with my wife. Her cousin came to us and wanted us to do all the signage, banners, guest books, life-size cutouts, etc. for her wedding. We do this all the time for friends' weddings and events, and we never charge. We're happy to help out, and it's usually a lot of fun working together to make some cool stuff. A few weeks before the wedding, her wedding planner tells us that they need all the items by X date so they can set it up for the wedding. At this point, we hadn't received our wedding invitations and didn't even know when the actual wedding was. My wife texts her and tries to clarify when the wedding is and if we missed the invitation somehow. Her cousin replies and says, we downsized the wedding and we decided to have like a close friends and family thing. This is your cousin, no? And that they didn't have space for us in the small venue. My wife and I are pretty hurt and insulted, and on top of it we spent close to $2,000 on all of the materials. Her cousin and the wedding planner kept making tiny revisions in the artwork and had us print samples to see how it would look in person, resize several of the items a few times, etc. All that had cost a ton of time and money. And we're a functioning business, so we either had to delay other orders or stay late and print her stuff on our own time. Well, that's not very good, is it? So I went ahead and billed her for our cost and said we needed payment before delivery, because I'm not going to chase her for payment for months, years after the wedding. We're not making money on it, so just charged her for the cost of materials. So far, we've gotten threatening calls, oh my goodness, from the cousin, her fiancé, some random members of my wife's family that I don't know, some of the groomsmen, etc., essentially calling us a naughty word. After the harassment, I'm considering charging full price, or else we won't deliver the items. Are we the a-holes here? Sorry, but I'm not going to waste my hard-earned time and money on someone who doesn't even consider us close friends and family. No, you're not. I think you're well within your right to charge them for that. I'm very confused why they didn't invite you in the first place. You're their cousin, no? Close friends and family. And yet they've got a full team of groomsmen by the sounds of it. Other family members that you don't even know, and you'd think if it were the close ones, they'd probably be ones from the other side that you know. I don't know. That's just what I would expect. And $2,000 is a lot of money. I don't even have $20. I don't have dollars, but just by the by. That is a lot of money. And initially you weren't going to charge anything. Nice, lovely. Wedding gift. Although $2,000 is a lot. Then you were just going to charge for the materials, which is fine, not making any money for it. I think that's fair. I think you should charge for your wasted time. I think that's necessary here, because they can't just treat people like that. That's rude. You are not the bad person in this one. Next story. They say, so I was invited and accepted to be a bridesmaid to my friend's wedding. Friends from middle school, and we are both now 25. They invited me a year or so ago. The bride, she knew I was getting my chest done. Obviously, she didn't take me seriously. Why would... Okay. So my surgery was last Tuesday. I only had my fiancé with me and didn't actually tell anyone before I was out of anaesthesia that I had actually had it done. It's a superstition thing on one hand to not jinx myself, and also I wouldn't want anyone to worry about how it goes because my mum suffers from intense anxiety. Fair enough. So I called the bride, super excited on FaceTime to tell her, and she's kind of laughing, but I could see she was surprised in a bad way. My implants aren't that big. They completely match my body, I might add. Fair enough. You can do whatever you like. You can do whatever you like. You don't need to, before we go on, you
don't need to justify yourself. You can do whatever you like. That's not going to sound that one.
I do photo shoots, so everything is tastefully done. We end the call, and I get a super long text from her 15 minutes after. Something along the lines of, Just so you know, this is super inconsiderate because you know my wedding is soon. You know people will notice on the day and we'll talk about it, which isn't actually the topic of discussion I desired on my wedding day. I call her and she's all annoyed. And here she says, I didn't take you seriously. And I'm trying to salvage the situation and tell her that I can wear a dress that will not accentuate my assets, so to say. She gets annoyed. Again, how I could not be different from her other bridesmaids and just offered to come as a guest if she wanted. Here I'd like to mention that to be her bridesmaid, she had rules.
Oh, we love some bridal rules.
We had rules, like not wearing my engagement ring. That's weird. Okay. Cutting my nails short, not getting professional makeup, to which I have always said okay, so I'm not a bridesmaidzilla. Ooh, new term, or whatever it is. So she says, no, you know you should have waited. The one day it was about me. I didn't know what to tell you. I feel like you did it on purpose. They can do whatever they want with their body. I find it very strange that you wouldn't let them wear their engagement ring. Okay. Now here I got mad because it's my body. Yeah. And I told her that she's being ridiculous and we ended the call angry. After that I messaged and asked her would she be happier if I didn't come at all, to which I got a thumbs up emoji reaction. The pettiest of petty. That's like someone saying K, but without even giving you the decency of a letter. Her fiancé actually called my fiancé to tell him she is crying her eyes out. What am I supposed to do? Rip them out? No, don't do that. I think this person's incredibly selfish, very insecure, and just hit. For anyone that cares, I just hit my knee on the desk. I think this person is quite insecure, quite selfish, and if they're worried that something as menial as a woman's chest is going to take away from the magic of their wedding day, then they shouldn't be getting married and they shouldn't have friends. I think I'm sounding more and more mean as these are going on. I just don't understand how these people find partners to cohabit and birth children with. I don't know. I don't get it. One more story before I have to go and live my best life. My friend Mary and I have known each other since we were children. Notice how they always start from people knowing one another since they were really little, which I actually think is worse because it's almost like those barriers are broken down and people feel the need to be something on the microphone. Feather. Yeah, people feel that they can be meaner, it seems. We've grown apart over the past few years, but she still considers me important enough to make me a bridesmaid. One reason why I distanced myself from her was because of her treatment of my relationship. My boyfriend Jack and I have been together for 3.5 years. He's a wonderful person, and there's no doubt in my mind that this is the man I want to marry. But Mary is under the impression that Jack is too good for me. Okay. Jack comes from a very wealthy background, this in stark contrast to my childhood. Jack's good looks and background have led Mary to believe that Jack deserves better than me. According to her, there's no way I could have pulled someone so attractive and rich. If you don't want the best for your best mates, then they're not your best mates. Why would you think, especially someone that you don't know this Jack person, why would you think that they can do better? I think she likes Jack. You fancy Jack? Jack comes from a very wealthy background. No, that's what it is. It's jealousy. It's jealousy. Mary is jealous. She wants Jack. But no, she's getting married to whoever. Let's continue. Mary invited me for lunch with her fiancé and his friend Gary. He asked me why I was single, and I told him that I was in a happy, committed relationship. He was taken aback by my answer. He told me that Mary had set up a blind double date of sorts for us both. I was very confused. Luckily, Gary wasn't upset and ended up making a few jokes about the whole ordeal. I called Mary later on in the day and asked her a ton of questions about why she thought it was okay to do that. At first she tried to deny it, but then she tried to justify it by saying that Gary is a man who's more in my league. And since he was also a groomsman, we needed to get to know each other better. I was shocked by her bluntness. Well, I mean, she did try to deny it at the start. So I just told her that I didn't want to be her bridesmaid anymore. Mary didn't take it well.
Well, sucks to be you.
Trying to apologise and saying that it was a mistake. It's been a few days and her fiancé has been texting me, asking me to suck it up for the wedding. No, I wouldn't suck it up. That's a very toxic friendship, very toxic relationship. To have a friend that, instead of being really happy for you that you've got someone so amazing, their natural response is to be like, oh, they're too good for you. It's usually supposed to be you're too good for them, isn't it? That's odd. I think this Mary person loves Jack. That's it. It's jealousy.
It's raging jealousy.
I think you should get new friends. I keep saying this and I'll say it over and over again. Get new friends. And that's enough Bridezilla stories today, I think, for me. Thank you ever so much for joining me today on this world-renowned... I can't take myself seriously. Please listen to this on all podcast streaming services if you missed it this evening live on Riverside Radio. Also, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter and TikTok, which I don't understand how it works. And I shall see you next week for lots of love and laughter and maybe more Bridezillas. Can't remember mind up yet. Night, Mum. Love you.